Hi, I'm Michelle, and this is Some Days Here, a place where we get real, we embrace being unperfect and unfinished, and we show up anyway. Today's episode is going to be a completion of episodes to my children and also to the people that have similar personality traits to them. And so this episode is for a certain kind of person, but it's also for someone I love deeply. Not because they are the same person, but because the way they move through the world overlaps in some ways. I have written letters like this before for different children, different personalities, different ways of being human. And I think that is the point. We are all so vastly different and beautiful in our own ways. And sometimes we just need someone to recognize us for our differences, for our imperfections, for our strengths, for our weaknesses, to say, I see you. I see you, and you're worthy, and you're good, and you are loved. And this one carries its own kind of tenderness. There are people who don't ask for much. People who might hesitate for a moment, maybe even complain a little when asked to do something. But they are almost always the ones who follow through. The ones who finish what they start. The ones who show up. The ones who can be counted on. This person notices more than people realize. They notice a stress filling a room. They notice when someone feels overwhelmed. They notice when something feels heavy. And without making a big deal about it, they soften. They adjust. They try to make things easier for the people they love. They rarely ask for anything. And I mean rarely. Even in moments when most kids might worry about themselves, they worry about everyone else. Once, before a surgery, instead of asking if it would hurt or how long the recovery would take, they wanted to know how much it would cost. They wanted to make sure it wouldn't be too much for us. That tells you something about how they move through this world. Another example of someone with this type of personality is I remember when we were having to clean out my office because of a whole situation that I'm not going to go into here, but I was really emotional about it, and Sean was pretty angry, and we were cleaning out everything out of my office, and I was kind of quiet and just focused on making sure I got everything and putting it away and feeling grief. And Sean was frustrated, visibly so. Like you could see it in his shoulders and in the jaw, the way his jaw was kind of set. And we were emptying everything out and taking it to the car. And this child was there with us and never once complained. Never once said anything about having to lug things back and forth. And in the midst of it all, while I was grieving and sad, they noticed. And they did the thing I needed most in that moment. They stopped, they walked up to me, and they put their arms out. And they let me put my head on their shoulder and just cry. They knew what I needed before I could even say anything. And although those teen years are complicated, they softened in that moment because they knew that's what their mom needed. And it was beautiful, and it is something I will forever carry with me. This child could also push boundaries sometimes looking for a reaction. Because even the ones who ask for the least still need to feel seen. They still need to know they matter. They still need to know there is space for them too. There were seasons where they had to wait. Wait while siblings needed more. Wait while resources were stretched. Wait while attention was pulled in many directions. And they did. Patiently. Quietly. Without asking for more. They have always been steady. Dependable. Solid in ways that are easy to take for granted. They have come across tough times. But underneath is something incredibly soft. Someone so thoughtful. Someone observant. Someone who feels more than they say. They are slow to warm up, but once they do, their humor shows up and it catches you off guard. They always just have their own rhythm. Even when they were little, they were the one who would give the quick morning hug on the way out the door with a quick "I love you" without needing a moment around it. It got to just exist. If you are listening and this feels familiar, if you are someone who doesn't want to be a burden, if you are someone who hesitates before asking for help, if you are someone who tries to make things easier for everyone else, if you are someone who feels more comfortable showing up for others than asking for others to show up for you, I want you to hear this. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to have needs. You are allowed to want things. You are allowed to ask for help. You do not have to earn your place by being easy. You do not have to make yourself smaller to make life easier for others. Being thoughtful is a strength. Being observant is a strength. Being dependable is a strength. But you do not have to carry everything quietly. To you, I see how hard you try. I see how often you put others into consideration. I see the way you show love through responsibility. I see the ways you stay steady even when things feel uncertain. You do not have to protect us from your needs. You do not have to worry about being too much. There has always been space for you. even in moments where life felt busy, even in moments where we were still learning how to show up better. You have always mattered fully. Sometimes the quiet ones carry more than anyone realizes. Sometimes the one who asks for the least are the ones who most need to hear that their presence matters. If something felt familiar in this, if you have ever felt like being low maintenance was the safest way to belong, I hope you remember this. You are not a burden. You are not too much. You are not in the way. You are deeply valued. Thank you for being here for this one. I'm Michelle, and this is Someday Is Here.